Start over?
There you go.
Wow, never done this before. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Transportation Environment Committee and the Government Operations and Fiscal Policy Joint Work Session. On the agenda, we have the Montgomery County Green Bank Non-Departmental Account, NDA. The NDA was created in FY23 after the Council adopted the Montgomery County Green Buildings Now Act, which I introduced with Councilmember Friedson and was supported by all my colleagues. I want to thank all my colleagues for unanimously passing Bill 4421. That bill dedicated 10% of our county's energy tax revenues, almost $20 million each year, to the Montgomery County Green Bank. They will use our funds to leverage up to $100 million each year to retrofit our biggest greenhouse gas emitters, which are the building sector. This NDA and the bill will complement the recently passed BEPS legislation, which the county exec signed earlier this week, and will help us meet our climate goals. Furthermore, the Green Bank is an amazing but underutilized tool. They have an outstanding track record of major solar and clean energy projects on both commercial and residential properties. They haven't been properly funded to meet the goals, the needs of the climate emergency, and I've been in close touch with them, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about the details that all the Green Bank has on their plate. I'll open it up to opening remarks from my colleagues, starting with Chair Navarro.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I don't have much to say other than this is a really wonderful item, so important and so timely. I do want to thank the leadership of Councilmember Hucker and Friedson. No doubt that making sure that we have the appropriate funds is exactly what is needed. We can pass a lot of things, talk about a lot of things, but unless we're able to put in the necessary funding and capacity, then we will not be able to achieve our goals. So this is a very important item, and I look forward to our conversation and our action.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councilmember Friedson.
Thank you. Thanks to both the chairs. Thank you to you, Councilmember Hucker. It was great to join you on this important effort. We talk a lot about setting ambitious targets, but we have to set a bar high. We also have to provide a ladder for people to get there. And this really is going to do that for residences and for businesses throughout the county. It's the most ambitious climate investment that we have made in Montgomery County to date. I'm really excited about it. The best part about it is it's not just the money that we are about to approve here today, the nearly $19 million, almost $20 million, but it's the leveraging that we're able to get from the Green Bank using the private sector to really drive this up to closer to $100 million in actual investments. It is a game changer for our ability to actually achieve our targets. And I'm really excited to be able to work together with everybody to make it happen. So thanks for this. It absolutely is a game changer for our climate, and look forward to approving this today.
Thank you. Anyone else? Everybody good? Okay. Yes, you're absolutely right. We never have enough public sector resources, and it's great to be able to utilize the private sector resources that the Green Bank brings to the table. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Hucker. I'll be brief, just give a quick overview of what's before the committees, and then we can also hear from the Green Bank, and I also appreciate all the work between Finance and the Green Bank over the last week to pull this information together. As noted, this is the first time the Council is reviewing this non-departmental account. It seems like the best place to put the Council's bill into action, to be able to record that over the coming years as we look at these appropriations. And the Executive's recommended appropriation in fiscal 23 is $18,647,957. That's based on 10% of the estimated fiscal 23 tax revenues. Energy tax revenues. Given that this is the first year Council staff is trying to create some structure for the review of the Green Bank and its operations, we don't need to get into great detail of that, but certainly what we see is the estimated fiscal 23 draft budget for the Green Bank is going to substantially increase, not only in terms of the assets they have available to leverage, like Mr. Friedson and Mr. Hucker said, but also they need to staff up. And so we can hear more about that if the committees wish, but we will see that over the next 6 years, the estimated additional energy tax revenues going to the Green Bank based on the current energy tax estimates is about $112 billion. And so that's $112 billion in new assets for the Green Bank. And so we will see substantial changes to how the Green Bank is going to operate over the next 6 years, and hopefully see how that is leveraged in the community. Council staff, at least in terms of the committee's discussion today, just notes two things. As Finance is going to continue to work on an MOU with the Green Bank to implement this funding, But two things the council staff wanted to make aware of for the committees is that the finance, like other organizations such as the Visit Montgomery or the Conference and Visitors Bureau, will be giving a monthly check based on actual 10% energy taxes collected the previous month. Council staff agrees with that approach because it gives it an even cash flow to the Green Bank. Certainly a check of $18 million on July 1 would be hard to implement right away, but it also obviously gives due diligence to the county in providing 10% of actual revenues. And then two, the county code requires uses. 20% must go to equity emphasis areas, and 15% also must be used for certain expenditures. Finance and Green Bank are still working on how to measure those uses and document them, so we could have that conversation today, but given that this bill was just recently passed and they're all working to implement it, there will be some answers to come later, and certainly the committees can come back to this and certainly get a final MOU once we have that, but wanted to know that that will be worked on. But more importantly, because the Green Bank uses its assets to leverage both in capital and actual projects, there will be some time to figure out how those uses will work. And so I don't think we're all there yet, but certainly over time we'll see how the county's money will be leveraged in the community. And with that, council staff does recommend approval of the executive's recommendation, and that's my notes, but we certainly should have a conversation with how this is going to work moving forward. Thank you, Mr. Rucker.
Oh, I thought you were waving. Okay. Mr. Covey, Director Covey, anything to add?
Just to note what Gene said, we are working very actively on an MOU that will allow us to make sure that the Green Bank is very successful in using this money. The MOU will have some detail as to how we will perform the due diligence that is necessary under what I would call F1 and F2 of this bill. They are the 20% requirement for equity emphasis areas and the 15% for essentially paying down or relieving some costs. And so we're working with the Green Bank on that. I would note that there is, the Green Bank's going to have to ramp up to do this much work. So the metrics are going to be probably not exactly where you might want them to be in the first year. They don't have the people in place yet. They do have a plan for bringing the people in. I'm on the board of the Green Bank also, so actively, we have a meeting tomorrow morning actually, where we're discussing things like this, how we're going to hire and priority for hiring and everything. So they're going to get everything in place. They're going to they already have a plan for some of the money. They've got potential projects in the pipeline already, and over time we're going to have no problem meeting these metrics, and they're going to have no problem successfully deploying all this money. But we're going to have to be a little bit flexible in the first year or two to make sure that the Green Bank has what it needs to get what it wants to get done, and what you wanted to get done.
Very helpful.
And if you have any questions
glad you're on
about
the
it.
board. Mr. Day, I want to call on you, and I know you shared a lot of good news with me at the BEP signing on Tuesday, so hope you'll share with my colleagues what's in the pipeline.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Hucker, Councilmember Navarro and all. Yes, I think the legislation that you unanimously passed, the Building Energy Performance Standards, is going to be the sweet spot of where we're going to see the use of this funding, and the timing of us getting the funding and your unanimous approval of that is perfectly situated for us to now be ready to go. It doesn't mean we've been waiting. We've been actively doing more work, and since the last time we met, we had 3 million of projects done. We're at 10 million of projects done, and we've, knock on wood, by the end of June, we maybe double that. We've got some pretty substantial projects in the wings, and that's this fiscal year, and we've already got a pipeline that's at that size to get into next fiscal year, and that's before we actually get our opportunity to get out in the market with additional resources and get behind the BEPS legislation. So we're looking forward to this investment, and we're going to make the biggest we can out of it. As Mr. Covey had noted, we've already put an organizational chart in front of our board and got a preliminary review of that to double our staff. Most of that staff is moving it into the market. You've asked us to get into equity emphasis areas. That's a particular sub-geography. We need people to get into those spaces and be working with the constituents in those places. But we also have to work with the commercial property owners, the condominiums, the multifamily affordable property owners. So there's a lot of work that we need to get done, and that staff is mostly dedicated to us being in the market and working, with some staff that have to manage when we get this stuff on the books. So we do have some administrative staff we have to do in order to make sure that we're a sound entity that acts in that way. And I think, as Mr. Covey said, we're looking at the use of these funds in multiple ways. The first thing we establish financial partnerships out there, and we use this capital to stand behind those partnerships. We've already established $26 million of that, using $6 million of this capital. We will continue to advance those. That's the sort of reservoir of investment then we put into the projects. And then we develop our pipeline, and that's what we're sitting on right now, $20 million this year, another $15 million already there. We then take that investment and we put it into those projects, either through those vehicles or directly. And that's the next level of effort. And then once they close, then they sit on our books. And that's that $10 million of investment that's out there, about $3 million of our green bank capital behind that. So we work in a way that sort of leverages that money as it comes to us to build the capacity, deploy that capacity, and then manage that capacity. So we're excited about this, and as I said, once you approved it, we moved fast. We got this sort of established, so we're ready to go when the resources show up in fiscal year 23, July 1. Thank you.
Terrific. Very impressive. You mentioned residential property owners. I assume there's no problem with me putting you in touch with tenants I recently met this weekend who want to buy their building to keep it affordable and make EE retrofits to the building.
Absolutely. We're all about supporting that energy efficiency retrofit. The project we just did was actually with a condominium project that was a very large one, and we continue to work with those properties as well. And when this other deal closes, you'll be extremely happy with what it is, because it hits many of the tenets of the things that you asked for.
Great. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Deo. This is exciting news, and it is our continued commitment to making sure that we tackle the climate crisis, recognizing that 52% of the carbon emissions in the county are coming from physical infrastructure. So incredibly important, and glad to hear about the growth that is already occurring before this even hits a bank account. That's wonderful. The planning is great. And so I'm just also curious, as that growth continues and the planning is underway, what specifically are the plans to reach out to the communities in the equity emphasis areas, and just kind of the staffing, the internal staffing, quite frankly, the administrative, whether, however you would classify them, but the people who are going out into the community and making sure that residents and building owners and others in the business community know about this opportunity.
Sure, great. Thanks for those questions. So we have hired just this year a communications and community engagement manager, and she's been in touch with the community partnerships of the county. There's also a new person at the DEP that's engaged in that. So we want to leverage those contacts that they have to get to the right people in the community. We've also been working with the other green, the One Montgomery Green, the Bethesda Green, the Poolsville Green, other associations that can get in there. And so we need to find all those avenues to get into those direct conversations. We've been doing our own share of social media marketing to get out there, and we've been doing that through Facebook and paying for ads there, and we've been seeing a good response to that. So we're going to try every which avenue we can to get into those spaces. But frankly, I think we need people to be in those spaces working. And so the organizational chart we have right now actually places another 3 or 4 positions right in that space of engaging in the community, be it in the renewable energy space or in the commercial investment space, because we know we need to get them in there, and with specialized either into the multifamily, into the affordable arena, or into the commercial arena. So we need to have those. And we know where the geographies are, and we'll get the addresses, and we'll begin to plot our pipeline so we know exactly what we have. The materials that we presented here are all based on systems that we have in place in order to track where our investments are, the various funds that we've had, whether those funds are tagged to it. So we'll do that through those level of mechanisms.
I think that's great, and whether they're called, individual, community engagement individuals, representatives, or quite frankly, like sales reps. I mean, that's really what they are.
Right. Exactly.
And I would hope that with the influx of this this investment metrics tied to those types of individuals so that we because we want them to succeed.
Right.
And so I'm glad to hear about the org chart and the roadmap, and look forward to hearing how the continued growth and success of this project. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Cassidy.
Thank you very much. Everything that could be said on this has been said, and I'm part of that chorus. But I did want to publicly say, many times government, says something should be done, and then the public says, they should put their money where their mouth is. This is where the money and the mouth are coming together, and so this really proves that we have not only the desire but the actual means to get something done. And I appreciate the fact that it's going to take a while to gear up. But the fact is that while it's gearing up, you're also doing everything that's necessary to do. So thank you and congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you. Yeah, great questions, colleagues. When is there a date by which you expect the agreement with the Department of Finance to be finalized?
I would expect that before the beginning of the fiscal year, we'll have something in place, all signed.
Great. Do we have any role in that?
Now, you don't have a direct role in it, but we've been meeting with council staff and briefing them and actually incorporating them and including them in meetings. So
Great. Okay. Well, colleagues, I think we've asked all our questions. Is this passing by acclamation? Yep. No objection? Great. Okay, without objection. Thank you. All right, keep up the good work, everybody.